like the whole thing we were talking about Derek Chauvin or whatever. Like I
Hmm.
pay attention to words. Okay. So like
Hmm.
if we want to break down words, like his name is Chauvin. Like what is the word chauvinistic? It's
Yeah.
literally the first half of his name.
Right.
Government, meant to control. Like start
Hmm.
breaking down the words. Like this stuff is like honestly it's blaring in our face.
That's exactly, you're exactly right.
I mean it's just like we're so conditioned we don't even pay attention. Like we really don't. And I'm not saying anybody in specific, I'm myself sometimes, but I'm like a word person, so I'll literally be like, ooh, I keep seeing his name on the screen. It's like Chauvin. I'm like, chauvinistic?
Male chauvinist.
Right.
Male
Like
chauvinist.
like my Mike, my other half today, he goes, is that dude even a real person? Like honestly, like how can you like listen, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, but when I keep hearing people defending like, oh,
Hmm.
he shouldn't have been arrested or what, I'm like, are you serious? He sat on a dude's neck for 9 minutes and 39 seconds
For
with his
nine
hands in his
minutes.
damn pocket. Like, are you freaking joking? You have to be an
Right.
evil piece of shit to think that that wasn't like at what point when he said, I'm not breathing, okay, I'm not breathing. Well, you're obviously breathing because you're talking. So like, but he was literally struggling and it was obvious.
Right.
Okay. And then he goes silent. But you still sat there, buddy, for another not five
Hmm.
minutes. Like
He
you
he knew
deserve to rot in hell.
he knew
Like,
exactly, he he knew exactly what his intentions were.
mm-hmm. He had no, it was like, I mean, in like even I don't know if you guys watch all the trial because I couldn't watch some of it. I just was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, I couldn't watch them all either.
I was like, I was having a hard time. I was like, I can't. I mean, I get it. He's not alive, so I don't want to watch someone
Hmm.
die. Like, I don't enjoy watching that. So I'm just like, I get it. But like when he's sitting there with his fucking hands in his pocket, just like knee on the neck, like, huh? I'm like, we just start filing his fingernail. Like, what the like? What is this shit? Like, this dude is like completely unaffected. And then when they like today, like you got convicted of murder and you're going to jail and you just no emotion.
Right. No emotion whatsoever.
Like what is like that's why my Mike was like, is he even really a human? Like how do we know that's even a real person? Like because you guys were talking about like is some of this shit like set up?
I believe they staging a lot of this shit that's going on. It's too many shootings happening
The
back to
timing.
back. And all you have to do is look into their eyes. The eyes
And
is the
there's
window
nothing
of the
there.
soul. There's nothing there. It's blank.
It's literally like a like I'm like, that's why Mike was like, is that a robot? Like like no like
Right,
joking, but
right,
like not joking, because it's like seriously, there is nothing there. It's
right.
literally empty. It's
I
like, come on,
want to I want to ask you two questions.
sure.
I want to ask you, what's your take on Makia Bryant? Uh that was the young black
You know what
teenager
happened
girl
earlier today?
that got killed in Ohio. Yeah. And I want to ask you about Nipsey. The reason I want to ask you about Makia is because I want to hear your perspective, you know, coming from someone that's non-black.
So, I don't know enough about it because I literally watched like a bit of the clip right before I hopped on your live. So
Right.
I don't really know enough, but from what I saw, it was absolutely disturbing because the what I don't know what was going on with the girls because the here's what's interesting too. I just want to say this. So how come some of their cameras are so clear and other this one wasn't so it was just like it was just kind of like all over the place. I don't know.
Like fuzzy, like not really focused.
Like it, yeah, it wasn't zoomed. Like yeah, there wasn't focus. That's exactly what
Right.
it wasn't. Like I was like, okay, well, what's going on? But like, so I can't. So they said she's trying to stab a girl, but I don't know. It looked like she could have just been trying to beat her up. Like I don't know. The other thing is the girl's in foster care, right? You
Hmm.
said so she's in because I don't know the full story. So from what I've gathered, she was in foster care. She's 15. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. So foster care is already a problem in itself.
Right.
Foster care system for the most part is not good. So what's going on in that foster care home? These kids are already like in hell. Okay. So like what's going on is like that's a that what was ever going on out in that driveway or wherever they were at was a result of what's going on inside. Okay, number one. And so where are the people that are supposed to be fostering these kids?
Right.
Okay, so that's number one. And then number two is the police, like, they're so quick to react. Like, and again, there's good and bad in everything. Okay. But like, these guys are trigger happy. Like, dude, the first thing you do is you grab your gun. Like, come on, this is a kid. Like, you guys don't know how to stop a fight. She's got a knife. Drop kick her ass. Like,
Right.
like,
Do
are
you
you
think?
serious?
Do you
Like,
feel he was trigger happy?
Yeah, like, honestly, like, my dad did years of martial arts, right? And like, and
Mm-hmm.
so like, he would teach me, because he'd always be like, in case anything happens to you, he'd come up from behind, like, get out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if something happens to you and I'm not here, what are you gonna do? So like, it takes 2 seconds to literally swipe someone's like leg out from underneath them. Like, you don't have to be tough or strong to do that. Like, I could have walked up and just drop kicked her. She's got a knife. She doesn't have a gun. Okay, so like, she's
Right.
gonna have to catch you, by the way, if she has the knife. Like,
Right.
you guys can't restrain or control or like try to command the situation. You literally just pull out your pistol and shoot it. Like, I don't even know. Like, that to me was like, I can't watch that stuff. You guys don't understand. Like, I start crying. I'm like, bawling my eyes out. I'm like, I can't watch this. Like, it's like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, what in, like, I'm sorry. Like, that would be the, like, you know how like my life would need to feel threatened for me to ever shoot someone?
Right. Do you feel he was trigger happy? Do you feel his
Hell
emotions
yeah, he
was
was trigger happy. But
his
it also,
emotions
the
was
stuff out
running
of his
high?
mouth.
Do you feel his emotions was running high because
Hell
of
yes.
the verdict?
Yes. And it's a black
Right.
kid.
Right. Because they said that the other police on the side, including him, was yelling Blue Lives Matter, and I didn't see where that even mattered if she was in an altercation with some other teenager.
Right. It's like, it's a teenage fight, and like, I don't know. The emotion, like, you could hear it coming from their voices, and that's where it kind of like even with George Floyd, for example, like, I was telling Mike, like, I was like, look, I feel like when I first started watching the whole thing happen, I felt like he was having an anxiety attack initially, right? And he kept saying he was overdosed. Dude, I don't care if this dude fucking sniffed the whole freaking 8-ball. Like, it doesn't, you killed him. You had your freaking knee on his neck for 9.5 minutes. Like,
right.
Like, okay, like, if he's been taking drugs, he's probably been taking them for quite a while. He's not just started yesterday. So it's like, he's not going to just die of a heart. It's because you guys, it's issue. You're the issue. Like, look in the fucking mirror. Excuse me, but look in the mirror. So at what point is there accountability? And,
exactly.
And the video of the teenager today, there was a black cop there. Did you see him?
I didn't see him because I really didn't like. Many people sent it to my DM. You know, I was busy.
Yeah.
So many people sent it to my DM, and I just like really vaguely looked at it, and then I went on live. You know,
there was like 3 cops. Like, you guys, 3 police officers could not restrain a 15-year-old girl.
And that's what I thought too. Like, you could. There's many methods you could have chose before shooting her 4 times in the chest.
Like, listen, in LA, like, you see stuff on this. You live here too. Like, you see stuff like, okay, like, dude comes out with a gun and is pointing at the cops and they shot him. Well, hello, like, that's common sense. But most of those people that when that happens, they're not right in the head. Okay?
Right.
A 15-year-old teenage girl, the teenage girls always get into, like, teenage girls scrap, like, and she has a knife, whatever. I don't know. I didn't see it. They said she had a knife, but I couldn't see because the video was kind of like, I don't know, it was a little funky. But the thing is that here nor there, it's like, she has a knife.
Exactly. You could have used a taser.
Hello.
Pepper spray.
You could just drop kick her. Like, literally, she's
Anything.
got her bent over. Walk from behind and sweep her feet out. It's not that hard.
Right. What do you think is going to happen to this officer?
I don't know, but there needs to be repercussions for the shit. It's unacceptable at this point. And here's the other thing. Defunding the police and taking their guns isn't going to solve anything either, because they're trying to take good people's gun. Like, I believe in gun rights. Like, I think, like, because here's the thing. Bad people are going to do whatever. They're going to find knives. They're going to find bombs, do whatever. If people want to hurt someone, they're going to hurt someone, and they'll figure out a way, right? So good people should have the right to protect their family. However, If they take every good citizen's guns and continue to give them to the police, we're in deep doo-doo. Like, you're going to have a military state because it's just going to get worse. So this is where the scary part is that people aren't really connecting because everyone's like, you know, you take the gun. Like, I wouldn't want to be a cop. Like, cops don't have it easy. I mean, I'm not saying they're all bad because there are some good ones, but for the most part, these guys are emotional, trigger happy, and angry. They beat their wives. They beat the kid. Like, listen, we know what it is. Like, I'm telling you, I grew up with a father who was fire captain. I know stories. Like, he's like, my dad would be like, Michelle, just never talk back. Just shut up and just do whatever they say if you get pulled over.
Right. He wanted
He's
you
like,
to make it home safe.
because you won't win. He always said, you will not win.
Right. He wanted you to make it home safe because he knows he's dealing with them.
He deals with them.
Yeah.
So my dad's a captain. So like the engineer is the guy who drives the fire truck, right? And the engineer, he was like, there was one time this guy was on a stretcher and my dad was like, I literally had to restrain my engineer from kicking the cop's ass because the guy was like injured and the cop was still talking shit to the dude.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's engineer is like, can you shut the fuck up, you fucking asshole? Like, this guy is dying. Like, what more do you need? Like, be like, seriously, motherfucker? Like, and then the guy, like, my dad's like, I literally like break him apart. It's like, it's the ego. It's too much power. It's not enough proper training. Nobody should have a gun if they don't know how to use it. And when you have a gun, you shouldn't use it unless it's your absolutely last resort.
Right. I'm in total agreement with that.
So that's my thoughts on that. I mean, this has to stop. But the thing is, I've seen like the lady that shot the kid. I don't even know what city it was. I can't keep track anymore. This is too much. The young I think it was like 17 or something, and she thought it was her taser, but it was her gun.
Yeah, Minneapolis.
Okay,
I mean, in Brooklyn. Actually, Brooklyn Center.
Brooklyn Center. Yep. Okay, you're right. Right. So I was thinking it was Detroit for some reason. So that one, that cop that was arresting the guy, he was black.
Mm-hmm.
The dude couldn't get the damn cuffs on. So what I think the problem I have with the media is they're trying to make this a race thing, and it's not so much a race thing to me as it's more of a, they think they're untouchable compared to us as citizens. Like, it has a lot to do with that, because this black cop cannot, like, you guys cannot even handcuff the dude. Like George Floyd, he got out the fucking other side of the door. You guys didn't even have the fucking door shut.
Right.
Like, are you guys retarded? Like, sorry, but like, I don't know if that offends somebody. Retarded. I said retarded, but like, seriously, like, you have to be a little slow. Because you're obvious, like, see, when you're moving in like a war situation or a life or death, if you're trained, you move calculated, not emotionally. And these guys move so emotionally, like, it's ridiculous. Like, you left the goddamn door open, stupid. If he got out, let him run. I feel like, let the guy go free. He got out. He outsmarted your stupid ass. Right. Like, it's like you guys left the door open. Like, what kind of shit is, like, I'm just like, oh God, this is like, it's not funny, but it's like funny. Like, you guys are like, there's 3 of you, 1 of him, or 5 of you, and 2 of the, you know, and like, this 2 teenage girls. And like, even in the video I saw, I don't know if it was a man or woman, I couldn't tell, but there was a person in the back and they put their hands up after the shooting, like after he shot the girl. They were like, oh shit, like, oh my God, like, everyone like ran back, like, what, like, it has to go from that to that. Right.
They were even shocked. They were surprised because they didn't think that was even going to happen. And she was totally wrong. She was totally wrong because, first of all, she was higher than a lieutenant, wasn't she? Or something like that.
Are you talking about the girl? I was talking about the guys today, but yeah, that too.
Yeah, the guys today. The guys
that
today
chick was
too.
on the force for 26 years or some shit.
Yeah, she's through.
Like, how do you like, honestly, come on. Like, so okay, so the gun goes on one side, okay, and the whatever taser goes on the other side.
Exactly.
So if you're trained in 26 years, you should be able to do that shit with your eyes closed.
Exactly.
That should not ever be like, that's like me being like, I don't know how to write anymore. Like, bullshit.
Right.
Bullshit. So nice excuse though, but you're done. So have fun in jail. and put them in general population. Let them actually have consequences, because otherwise they're just going to a luxury resort because
Right.
their homies are going to be like, yo, because they're the cops that are in, you know what I mean, like running the prison. So it's like, it just isn't, I don't know. And yes,
Right.
you're right. Like the je ne sais quoi, she's saying like he was claustrophobic. He was, yeah, they weigh differently. They're also on different sides. And if you're trained like you're supposed to be, you should already know. Like it
You
should
should
never
already
ever,
know.
like, I'm sorry, 20, she was on force 26 years. That's almost as long as I've been alive. Like you
That's
can't
long.
remember.
That's long. She knows exactly where that taser's at.
And this is, so they need, so police, I feel like they not only do they need to be trained physically, right? Like they need to be in shape and work out and train for their stuff, but they also need to have emotional training, because obviously these people are a mess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you're the kids that were picked on in high school and now you got some power. We get it.
And they're abusing it. They're
And
abusing it
abusing it,
each
like
year.
not abusing it. They're like, I mean, that's a, like, it's far more than abuse. You know what I'm saying?
They're abusing their authority to the
Yeah, they're
point to
abusing
where
it.
yeah.
And because they're not used to, because they're used to getting away with it.
Mm-hmm.
They've been getting away with it forever.
Yeah, so it's like why would I feel threatened with prison or anything else when we've been killing and getting away with everything, and killing is just the ultimate. Just think about how many people on a daily that they instill fear with, and they rob them.
Sorry, one sec. Mike, your food's here. Postmates is here. Gotta go grab the food. Sorry. But no, but like, yeah, like, no, 100%. Not only that, it's like someone said, just like right now, it's psychological. No, not psychological. I'm talking about emotional training. I'm talking about like when you get hired on the police department, you have to take tests, right? Just
Right.
like when you get hired on any job or whatever. But like these government jobs, they test you. So, what's on this test? Like they need to do some, they need to switch these tests up, because not everyone is meant to be a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that is not for everybody. And I think the hood needs to start maybe, you know, like, because that's why gangs were originally started. So the problem is gangs have like lost that point of that, and like now are like, it's just like, to me, it's like, get back to what blood stands for, what CRIP stands for. You know, doesn't mean like CRIP mean community revolution in progress, right?
Right. Community revolution in progress.
Right. And
Yep.
blood is
Blood, love, overstanding destruction.
yes.
Yep.
So like get back to that, because I mean, there's no other way to change anything unless you start from within.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to stop killing until people start fucking shooting back.
That's the only
And I
way to
hate to
stop
say that
somebody.
because I don't believe in violence, but sometimes it's necessary.
Right. You're right. It is necessary.
Unfortunately.
When it gets to a point to where nothing else is working, then you have to meet resistance with stiffer resistance.
You cannot fight a fucking evil like person with like no soul with a hug. Like it doesn't work like that.
Right.
Until their bodies start dropping, then they might start reevaluating that conversation.
Exactly.
And I don't, like, again, like I'm not promoting, but I'm just saying, like, if it were like, if it's my family or you,